Hi friends, I have a new layout for you today and it's part of a fun YouTube hop. I celebrated my 40th birthday recently and I really wanted a scrappy way to celebrate with lots of my creative friends. I also recently reached 700 YouTube subscribers, so a double celebration. This is the layout that I've created today, and all my creative friends are either scraplifting myself or using some of my favorite things to inspire their page. So some of those things are bright colors, rainbows, sunshine, mixed media, sequins or sparkle, flowers, fussy cutting, DIY embellishments, stitching and cut files. And I've tried my hardest to include most of those today. So I'm starting off with a sheet of Vicky Bouton's foundations paper because I am going to be doing a little bit of mixed media, and I've got this photo of myself. It's got quite a funny story behind it. I took it recently as a selfie for my 40th birthday, and I spent the longest time getting my 4 and 0 balloons in mirror image so that when I took my selfie, the actual photo had the balloons in the correct direction. However, I didn't realize that my phone is able to automatically switch the image so that everything is showing the correct way around in your selfie. So needless to say, my balloons are the wrong way around, but it's a funny story and I will always remember laughing at myself and my ridiculousness. So I chose not to retake the photo and I just left it as is. So for this page, I'm using mostly Paige Evans' Splendid Collection, which I'm using for those lovely rainbow sun rays. I just freehand cut these and then used one as a template for all the others so that they were the same. So you can definitely use a ruler to make it more precise. However, I just started off with one end being slightly narrower and then cutting off, tapering, making the ray slightly wider. I have trimmed down a few of them so that they are very varied sizes. And I've cut a total of 7, one in each of the rainbow colors. Now, I love this sunshiny piece of pattern paper from Vicky Bouton's Sweet Rush collection, and I've just torn a strip of it to use down the side of my page. And those bright sun rays are just going to be bursting out of the right-hand side of it. Now, I folded each of those rays because I just want to add a little bit of extra dimension, but I'm also going to be stitching down the center of those. Now, this page is just going to have a little bit of mixed media, and I'm going to be starting off with 2 Distress mini cubes. This one is mustard seed, and then I'm going to be moving on to the squeezed lemonade. And I've just turned my page around so that I can work on this kind of sunburst, and I'm just swooshing that ink pad out in kind of like a sunburst pattern, and then I'm coming in with this Shimmerz Vibes. I think it's called Chick-a-dee, and it's such a beautiful sunshiny yellow, and I'm just spraying that on for a fine mist, and then there's a few little drips as well, and I just love that sunshiny glow behind those rays. Now I'm coming in with my water and my paintbrush and just splattering on some water. It reacts with the Distress inks, and then I can just kind of mop that up, and it has left kind of like water marks, which I really like for some extra texture, although you don't really see much of it once I've put the rainbow rays on, so I'm not sure if it's totally worth it, but I know it's there. Now I'm sticking down my first ray. I've just put some tape adhesive down the center where the fold is, and then I'm working with my page turned sideways so that I can find the center of the page. And once I've stuck that first one down, I realized, I want to distress the edges, so I pick it back up again and add some distressing for a little bit of extra texture. And you can see here with the yellow ray, I've just trimmed it down a little bit, so it is a process just kind of trimming a little bit and getting the rays the exact size that I want them. So I systematically work through all the colors, starting from the central ray and then working outwards, and I am quite careful to make sure that the spacing is even, so that if I were to fold my page in half, it would be symmetrical on both sides. So while I am sticking all of these rays down, I want to share just a few more details about today's hop. There are 29 of us taking part from around the world, and all of the channels are linked up below. We also have a couple people taking part on Instagram, so their links are there below, and I would so appreciate if you pop along to the channels and see what everyone has created. Please do drop them a comment and a like, and if you love their channel too, please do subscribe. Now that those are all stuck down, I just want to trim off the edges. So the Vicky Bouton foundations paper has like a strip where it's attached to the pad, and I'm just cutting that off along with all the excess sun rays, and it's starting to come together. Now I've pulled out a rainbow of thread for my sewing machine, and I've just gone backwards and forwards over each ray, just kind of making a messy stitched line just for extra texture and an extra little bit of bright color. Now I want to raise up that strip that I'm putting down the side, so I'm just using some craft foam, which I'm adding some adhesive to so that I can get it all stuck down, and then I'm ready to start embellishing. So I've managed to tick a few things off my favorite list so far: rainbow, as in rainbow colors, bright colors, sunshine, mixed media, and stitching. So that's 5 of the 10 already. So I've got my photo and I want to back it with this lovely piece of pattern paper, also from Paige Evans' Splendid collection, and it's got some lovely visual texture in the background. It's a print of fabric and I absolutely love it, as do I love this one, which is like a denim print. Both are just gorgeous. Now I've got this Celebrate perspective, which is from Bramble Fox, and that's going to be my title piece, and I'm just deciding if I need a third layer of pattern paper behind that photo. And now actually looking back at this video, I really like that yellow, but I decided in the end not to go for it. I went for this black spotty pattern paper instead, which I'm going to add behind all of those other layers, and I've just torn the edge on one side of each of those mounts just for extra texture and just to kind of give a softer edge to the one side. Now I am distressing all of the edges so that you can really see lots of texture in all of those layers. So I'm just sticking all of those together so that I can get my photo down and I can start building some clusters of embellishments around it. Now you may have seen a couple videos ago I had fussy cut lots of gorgeous florals and butterflies from both Paige Evans' Splendid collection and Vicky Bouton's Sweet Rush collection, so I've still got all those leftover florals, which definitely made this process a little bit quicker. So and that's another one of my favorite things, fussy cutting and florals. We're up to 7 now. 7 out of 10. Now I love these black and white florals from the Splendid collection, and so I've just dotted those around. Those cut files, I think those were a freebie from Vicky Bouton, which I had used about a year ago on a layout, and I had a few left over, so I've just dotted those in. However, they don't make the final cut. I feel that they're kind of standing out a little bit too much, so I do end up taking them off. And here we go, off they go, and I'm already preferring that. So these black and white florals I think are so pretty. It surprises me because usually I wouldn't choose black and white as an option, but I really think they contrast so nicely with all the bright color. I like using lots and lots of color in my layouts. If you're new to my channel, welcome. You will find lots of color over here, usually in the rainbow variety, and I find the black and white just contrasts nicely and allows me to still use lots and lots of things without there being too much conflict between all the different elements. I have these lovely little leaf clusters. These are from a cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files. They were left over from another project, but I'm so glad that I had them because they're the perfect little accent for these clusters. Now I'm coming in with a few little teeny tiny fussy cut flowers, just dotting them around. I've got a few in different colors which I'm coordinating with those sun rays so that they tone on tone. And now I've got these fussy cut butterflies, and I'm just adding 3, creating a visual triangle around my photos, and I have tied that in with the color of the sun rays that they're closest to. So we have a little bit of tone on tone embellishing with the pink butterfly on the pink ray, the blue butterfly on the blue, and the purple one near the purple ray. And now it's time to get everything stuck down. Always the longest part of creating a page. But I've noticed that tab, and I better stamp a little sentiment onto it first before I get everything stuck down. So I've picked one from one of the scrapbook.com exclusive stamp sets, and it says, "Oh happy day," and I thought that was just perfect for celebrating my birthday, and that just ties in really nicely. The little tab is from Vicky Booted Sweet Rush collection, from one of the ephemera packs, and I opted for that one because it was kind of orange and yellow tones, which ties in nicely with the sun rays where I've placed it. So I'm just kind of keeping any colourful embellishment that I'm using in line with the sun rays that the embellishment is nearest to, if that makes sense. And now out comes my clear silicone adhesive, which is my favourite for fussy cut florals, just for adding lots of extra dimension. Just a reminder, if you opt to use this, that it does take a while to dry, so best to leave it overnight, and just to be careful and not smush all your embellishments and squelch glue all over your page. So I'm alternating between my clear silicone glue. If you're here in the UK, you can get it from Hobbycraft, which is where I got mine. And I'm also using Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, which is just a wet adhesive, which I absolutely love. It works so well and the nozzle never gets blocked, and I'm using that to stick down the florals that are going directly onto the page, the ones where I'm not really requiring much dimension, and those are mostly the little teeny tiny little flowers. So now I'm just busy working on this bottom cluster and getting everything in the right place. I do forget that I'm going to be putting the title in there, so I kind of cluster everything around the bottom of the photo rather than the title piece that I'd planned to use. But I realized that eventually, and I sorted it out, but it doesn't make too much difference, thankfully. So yes, just going in there with the silicone glue and the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and creating all those lovely layers of florals. Now when I stick down the butterflies, I put a little bit of glue in the center of the butterfly. That is the bit that I want to be most flush with the page, and then I put a much bigger blob on each of the wings, and that blob of silicone adhesive just keeps those wings raised, so you never have to worry about your butterflies going flat. They will stay raised permanently, provided you've got some silicone adhesive underneath. So here I've realized I've forgotten my title, so I'm just making a few adjustments. I'm just using my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive on the back of that, which always helps stick acrylic pieces down nicely. So now I'm just giving a little tweak to those florals and then coming in with that light purple butterfly, which just finishes off those embellishments really nicely. I would love to know what some of your favorites are for scrapbooking. I mentioned mine a little bit earlier. I would love to know what yours are. It's so nice to hear what everybody else is drawn to when they create. I think we all have our unofficial list of favorite things that we kind of lean towards when we create, and I'm about to use another one of mine, which is sparkle, and you can't get more sparkle than in this lovely glimmer paste from Nouveau. The color that I've used here is Moonstone, and it gives such a gorgeous iridescent glitter shimmer, and it just is so pretty. It really is a lovely accent if you're just wanting a little hint of sparkle. Now, to add a little bit more sparkle, I've got these lovely jewels from Little Things by Lucy's Cards. These are the iridescent jewels, and they come in a variety of different sizes. So I'm just using these down the center of each of my butterflies, starting with a big jewel at the top, then a couple of the medium-sized ones, followed by lots of little ones. Now I'm not done with embellishment, so I've got these lovely little heart confetti pieces from Pear Tree Cut Files, and I've got them in a rainbow of colors. So I've just made like a little triangle using 3 hearts there around that bottom cluster, and I'm going to do the same above the top cluster, just using colors that coordinate with what's around the hearts. So the 3 that I'm using in the top cluster are just different shades of yellow and orange to kind of tie in with that pattern paper. Now, as it was my 40th, I thought I'd better add in a 40 there, so my title is now Celebrate 40. So I've just used some little gold thickers, so I thought I'd bring in a little bit of gold using these sweet little puffy gold hearts, again just kind of making a triangle around my photos before pulling out my favorite color sequins, these lovely little soft yellow sequins, which I find just go with everything and just add a little extra bit of sunshiny glow to a page. So I'm sticking that down with my wet adhesive and my tweezers. I'm usually a bit all fingers and thumbs and take quite a while to do this process. So don't worry, I've skipped through most of it. Yeah, I do find adding sequins quite fiddly, but I love the effect of them. So the time is worth it. So I'm just raising up those sun rays just to finish off my page, and now it is all done. So here it's a little close-up look at all of the details, all the sunshiny color in this page. And thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this video that I've created for my 40th birthday celebratory hop. Please do pop along to all my creative friends and see what they've created for the occasion, and give them a thumbs up and a subscribe if you'd like to see more of their lovely work. I've linked everyone in the description box below. Whether you're a new or an old subscriber to my channel, thank you for being here. I hope something you've seen today inspires you to get creative too. You can also find me on Instagram at Handmade Happy by Monique. And a huge big thank you to everyone who's joined me today and participated in my hop. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!